Alright, so today it's Foundation Friday. This is where I try out a new foundation every single Friday on my channel, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Today we're trying out one that is new-ish. This launched in June. Construction decided to start halfway through filming this video, so hopefully you guys can't hear that. Rode mic. I'm counting on you. This is the Lawless Woke Up Like This Flawless Finish Foundation. I had never heard of this brand. Apparently they're clean and green and things. Sephora now has like a clean badge, which is kind of cool that they put on certain products that are clean by their standards. Oh my god, my back is killing me. Oh, that is way better. Now I've got a backrest. This foundation retails for $46. You get 1 fluid ounce of product in it, and it comes in 20 shades. So I have the lightest shade, which is Pristine. Pristine says it has fair with cool pink undertones. They have a couple other shades that are fair with just different kind of undertones. So on Sephora, it says the coverage is supposed to be full, but it also says it has a buildable coverage, and it says a fresh, radiant finish. It says it has antioxidant-rich, skin-balancing oils, including camellia oils, hydrating shea butter, so that scares me a little bit because I usually break out to any kind of products that have oil in it. Rosehip oil is the only oil I've ever found that doesn't break me out. So usually foundations that have oils, I usually get some kind of like skin reaction to, so I'm just gonna watch it and see how it goes. It says you can achieve full coverage with a natural skin-like finish that never looks cakey or dry. So that is very appealing to me. That's exactly what I like because I have dry skin. I like something that has a little bit more coverage usually if I'm doing like full-on makeup look. And it says it has a fresh, radiant finish, so those are all usually things I look for in a foundation. I'm gonna start swatches so you guys can see what the shade Pristine looks like compared to some of my other foundations. All right, so here's some swatches for comparison. So right here's the Lawless foundation in the lightest shade Pristine. Next over is CYO Life Proof in 101, which is a pretty great shade match for me. Dermacol 208, same thing, good shade match. NARS Natural Radiant Foundation in Mont Blanc. Tarte Rainforest of the Sea in Porcelain. And the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Foundation in L1. So if you enjoy Foundation Friday, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you're new here, you can join the Bayrito family and subscribe. I upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. The Taylor Snaps is my Snapchat. Everything else is just the Taylor. Woo! Okay, need about 27 more cups of coffee right now, but it is almost 10 a.m. It's 9:55, and it's Saturday right now. Is it Saturday or Sunday? It's Saturday. But we're going to try this thing out. So I hope I chose the right shade here. I haven't done swatches yet, so I'm not sure what this looks like compared to some of my others, but I'm going to give this a good shake. It says online that you might see some like marbling on the sides of the bottle because there aren't any fillers or anything in here. Sounds pretty thick, like I'm not hearing it move around in there. So I'm gonna do half my face with my Sigma F80 flat top and then the other half with a sponge. This is by Shop Miss A. It's $1, and I've been using this lately and it is so freaking soft and like bouncy. I did wash this and it is clean, it just is like stained. So my skin is washed, moisturized, and prepped. I put the products I use down below. So there's a pump on here and this is a glass bottle. Feels like nice quality packaging. So I'm gonna start out with a brush on this side of my face. Ooh, wow, off the bat, strong scent. Holy shitsies. I mean, it smells good. It smells very refreshing. It's like a citrusy kind of scent, but it kind of just smells like you dunked in OJ. Ooh, that is looking pretty though. The shade is too dark. Whoa, it's like immediately oxidizing. Wow, that's an intense line right there. It looked like it was going to be a good shade right when I put it on, and then it, I would say, immediately darkened about at least a shade. But the finish is looking so pretty. It's like not clinging anywhere. Yeah, look at it when it first goes on compared to down here. So definitely, I would say get a shade up in this one, or a shade down. Get a shade down, not a shade up. It feels almost like a gel foundation blending out. Like it does have a little bit of, not tug, it just feels more like a gel. Wow, oh my god, I swear it's still oxidizing. Look at that. I do have plans today, so hopefully I can make this look not super orange. I'll blend this way down. Gets a little better. It's looking really pretty though, like how it's sitting on my skin. Let's try the other side with a sponge. So I used about a full pump on this side of my face, so now we're gonna see how far it goes with the sponge. Okay, so my sponge has already soaked up that full pump. So I'm gonna have to put a little bit more out to cover my forehead. This is why I like to, even if I'm gonna blend out my foundation with a sponge, I apply it with a brush first so it soaks up less, get it mostly blended out, and then just tap it out with the sponge. Or else you get this kind of situation where it just eats your foundation. Looks like a little bit lighter coverage with the sponge, but it still looks really pretty. The finish, I would say, looks about the same. I think I prefer the brush side just because you get a little bit better coverage and you still get a really nice smooth finish. This looks very satin. Like, it looks very not makeup-y and pretty. The finish is beautiful. What is this reminding me of? And then use whatever's left over just to blend out on the side a little bit. Oh, this looks so pretty. Dang. So whatever is left over on my sponge, aka nothing, I'm just kind of blending everything together. It says that this is buildable, so I might try with a brush. I still have a little bit of product on here, so with the brush, I'm just going to see if it can cover my scarring and freckles right here. It's supposed to build. And it says it's full coverage. So without building, it looked like, with a sponge, it looked like, say, low medium coverage, and then with the brush, high medium without building. Certain areas look full, but then you can still see like freckles and stuff. I don't know, could almost be like low full coverage. Okay, so that did build up. Doesn't look cakey or anything at all. Actually, let me grab another mirror. Yeah, that built beautifully. My kind of problem areas with foundation is usually right here between my eyebrows, and especially with more of like a matte or even satin matte foundation, it can just usually look really cakey right there. And I can see it a little bit right there, like more than when I use CYO or something, but it doesn't look bad at all. And then my forehead looks good. Around my pores, I would probably still use a pore filling primer with this one just to fill in my pores a little bit right there. My only concern right now is that it looks a little bit like it's starting to crease right around my mouth area, but that's really, ooh, that just like dug in a little indent, that nail. That's really common for me. Almost every foundation I get creasing right there, and sometimes on my upper lip too, but lately it's just mostly been like around my mouth area. For some reason it switched. Finish definitely looks like a satin finish to me. Usually when I step out there to do the rest of my makeup and look in the mirror, it looks a little bit more dewy than how it looks right here, so just keep that in mind. But you guys will see what it looks like there in the next check-in. The only thing I don't like is just how much it oxidized. It definitely darkens a couple shades. And I like this lighting too, because I feel like now you guys can actually see that when I'm talking about it. Hopefully. Yeah, you can see that. I just checked the shades again, and it looks like Pristine is actually the lightest one. So that's kind of a bummer, because this is too dark on its own, so I would have to mix something in with this. So if you're fairer than I am, this would definitely be too dark. And this says it has cool pink undertones, which I agree with. It looks a little bit more actually like neutral cool to me. Right now, I'd be down to mix in CYO Life Proof with this. I think that could be really pretty just looking at the finish and coverage of this. Let's see how this feels to the touch. So it does feel a little bit tacky. So with this one, I will need to powder just this part of my face. I always powder my under eyes and then this area if I need to, just to blend stuff on top of it. I personally don't like powdering my forehead because with dry skin, it just makes it look horrible throughout the day, and my foundation usually wears fine. I am going to be outside today and it's like 75, so I might powder just like around my hairline a little bit just so it doesn't come off if I'm like sweating a little bit. I think we're going on like a bike ride, but I'm going to do the rest of my makeup and then I'll be right back. All right, so now it's 10:30 and I left you guys at about 10:09. So we're just gonna call it check-in time 10:10 because I did end up powdering just this area. Powder melted beautifully over top. If you have oily skin and you would have to set your entire face with this one, you literally can't even see the powder right here. It just looks like skin. I did also just put a little bit of powder around my hairline just because I am gonna be out in the heat and stuff, but I left the rest of my face without powder. So out in the other lighting, which you guys will see in the next check-in, it looked much dewier. It looked still satin, but like a very dewy satin finish. Less of a satin matte and more of like a satin dewy. No complaints. It looks beautiful. This really reminds me of another foundation. I can't put my finger on it right now, so hopefully by the end of the night, it'll pop in my head. So I'm gonna do a flash test right now, and then I'll tell you guys what's on the rest of my face for makeup. Looks super pretty in flash. Looks really smoothing. I do feel like you can see kind of like darker areas on my face. Like obviously it's brighter under here because of concealer, but I feel like my upper lip looks a little bit dark. Certain areas over here look a little bit dark, so I just definitely have to mix this one. But on flash, it looks really pretty. I wouldn't say there's like a severe bounce back or anything. I just did super, super basic makeup, just like what I do on an everyday basis kind of makeup, because I'm just going to be going on a bike ride and stuff. For bronzer, I'm wearing the Physicians Formula Super BB Insta Ready. I hope they still make this. I don't know if they do. This is in the shade Universal Filter. This is also all I used on my eyes, so I just put that into the crease. And then for blush, I used the MAC Patrick Star blush in I'm Not Blushing. This is such a pretty shade, this one right here. And then for highlight, I used Casey Holmes Smashbox Spotlight Palette. I haven't used this in a while, and I need to start reaching for this again because this shade is so beautiful. Doesn't emphasize your texture, but still gives you like the bam kind of glow. I also put this on my inner corner of my eyes, and then lips, all I used was the Maybelline Vivid Hot Lacquer in Tease. So check-in time, what did I say, is 10:10. So I'll see you guys in a few hours in natural lighting on the other camera. All right, so it is the end of the night. It's 10:55, so it's been on for over 12 hours at this point, right? When did I put this on? 10:10. Yeah, it's been on for over 12 hours. So it has been a long day. I've definitely put this thing to the test. I'm in front of the ring light right now since it's totally pitch black outside, but it was pretty hot today. It was like 75-ish, and we were biking and sweating and in the sun a lot, so I definitely like really wore this thing. So first let's talk about the 3 p.m. check-in. So I was after 5 hours. So I'm gonna insert that clip right here. My friend was over, so I just did like a, you know, no voice kind of check-in. It looked pretty good, but I noticed around my nose area and upper lip, there was like a little bit of creasing or just kind of dryness going on. So that was at the 5-hour point. Between the 5-hour point and about 8-hour point, I was looking at my face again in a bathroom lighting, and I kind of noticed what I do right now where it seems to have almost like either darkened or gotten super patchy or like rubbed off right around my nose area. So I think that's showing up. So it's like right around here. It's almost between like my concealer and then where the foundation was. It almost like picked up right there. I've never really had that happen, or not in a while. Something looks a little bit patchy. I don't know if it's just like the shade because it's too dark or what. But here is my forehead. So it's broken down, like separated a little bit right there, but not too bad for 12 hours. Doesn't look horrible for 12 hours. There's just definitely some stuff going on right here. Don't really know what's happening there. It wasn't one that when I looked at it halfway throughout the day, I didn't think like, dang, this looks amazing, but it also didn't look bad. And I feel like I like the coverage and I like the overall finish of it. So I definitely want to try mixing this in. I think the CYO could be really good with this one. So I'm gonna try mixing that. I'll update you guys in the description box how that goes mixing it. I feel like it has just kind of like rubbed off in certain parts. Like my blush and bronzer don't seem like they're on quite as much as before. So I wouldn't call this one like ultra long lasting or anything, but it also doesn't look bad. So I might try playing around with different primers and setting sprays. I also didn't have a setting spray on at all. So I think this mixed with CYO and then set with like the Makeup Forever setting spray would probably be good. We'll see how it goes. I'll update you guys in the description box. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.